and welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to be showing you my go-to makeup look for school. I posted a picture on Instagram yesterday, I believe it was on my story and everything, of the go-to look I usually wear and everything. I'm not going to be doing that look to a T, but I'm pretty much going to be doing that look. The eye look is pretty similar to a video that I just posted today when I'm filming this, but I don't know when I'm going to post this video or anything like that. But I'm super excited to be doing this. This is my go-to school look, which is a very simple look. It's pretty easy and everything like that, so it's definitely something you can recreate for school like I do, work, just whatever occasion. Maybe you're a minimalistic person, I don't know. I'm not like that every day, but when it comes to school, I don't like doing a full glam kind of look. I kind of like to keep it simple, and sometimes I don't even wear makeup. And yeah, I'm super excited to be showing you this look and everything. And yeah, let's just get right into the video. So I actually haven't moisturized quite yet, so we're gonna do that here in a second. Okay, so to moisturize, I'm using my Ultra Repair Cream from First Aid Beauty. I like this. I just use a tiny little bit and everything, and I just apply this to my face and everything just to moisturize it and keep it like nice and prepped, and just keep it nice and moisturized throughout the day, because my skin does get very dry. So I try to apply a nice good layer and just use a lot of dewy products, because if you didn't know, I'm on Accutane, so my skin is the driest it could ever be. And I'm doing this chit chat style just because that's how I want to do this video and everything like that. Then I always wear primer unless I forget. That happens sometimes. If I'm in a rush, I forget to put on primer, but usually this is the primer I use. It's the NYX hydratouch primer. I love this primer. It's very nice, and honestly just feels like a liquid water on your skin. It's very like wet and hydrating, which I really like because it really keeps my skin nice and hydrated, and it's just such a nice primer. I'd be sure to like put it around, especially where I get dry. So like my forehead, I like to be nice and hydrated. I also like it to be hydrated around the sides of my nose, and then also my lip gets very dry and stuff. So next, I have a couple different foundations I go in between. I usually like to bring like 2 foundations with me when I'm at school and everything, since I am in college and I'm not at home every day. So the foundation that I have been using in the past for a while, I was using this every day, and I like to mix it too, is the L'Oreal Pro Glow foundation. I'm almost out of this, so I have to pick up another one. And then I also love the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir foundation. So I think today I might mix these two, or start out with one then mix them, just because I want to get that look I usually get. And I'm gonna be using a new brush today. This is the It Cosmetics, or this is the It brushes for Ulta, and this is their Airbrush Smoothing Foundation brush, which I believe is number 102 brush, and it just looks like that. It's just a nice brush. I picked this up for like one of their deals because I really want to try It Cosmetics brushes, and this is the one they had, and I'm curious of how this is gonna apply my foundation. Sometimes I'll just like put the foundation right on the brush and then I will dot it. Actually liking this for like dotting it on so far. And then yeah, ooh, this brush is nice. I like this brush. It's just like, I don't know like what its intended purpose is, like how I'm supposed to exactly use it, but so far so good. I've never used this before, and typically I would use a brush that I do use on a daily basis. And yes, I put my foundation on my eyelids, under my eyes. I honestly like put my foundation everywhere. It just really makes sure to blend it, you know? And this is really airbrushing my face, like seriously, I'm not even kidding you. Like this is amazing. Okay, so that's it for the foundation. And now I'm going to go on to concealer. I'm so lazy at school that I don't even wet my sponge, just because my bathroom is across the hall. Like not across the hall, like I open up my door and literally I have to walk across the hall without having to open the main door, because I don't have a main door. My main door is the door to my room, like my bedroom. Like, so I have like a communal bathroom, but we only have 2 bathrooms. Like we only have like 2 showers, 2 sinks, 2 bathrooms, like 2 toilets, I guess, or 2 stalls, I guess we could call it. So I never like walking across there with my beauty blender or my sponge, just I don't. So I usually typically use the brush that I use my foundation to blend my concealer. And the concealer I've been using lately is from Wet n Wild, and this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. Just looks like this and everything. I'm trying to use this up, so I typically use this every day, and I usually just scrape the sides and stuff. I really like this concealer. I got it on my eyelid just fine because I like applying concealer together. Oh, it reminds me a lot of like, I don't know what concealer it reminds me of. It's very lightweight. Some people think it's heavy and thick, and I don't really agree with that. I think it is very like nice, you know, like it's not too much. And I typically like to apply this under my eyes if I'm lazy, and if I feel like doing more, I will apply it down the center of my face. So I'll go on my nose, I'll go on the center of my forehead. This is definitely running out because I can hardly get any out. And yeah, like I said, like a lot of times I'll just take the brush that I use for my foundation and also use that under my eyes because I never wet my sponge because I just have to walk across the hallway. I should do it when I wash my face, like wash my beauty blender at the same time, but I don't. I just don't. And yeah, this actually isn't a bad brush to use for my concealer. Okay, so everything is blended and it feels slightly tacky, so I'm just gonna set under my eyes for right now. And usually I will just use my ProFusion Contour palette when I do that. So I just take a setting brush and I mix that yellowish shade with that peaches shade. I really like the yellow. It's my favorite, clearly. This is like a really good contour palette because it was only like $5 at TJ Maxx, and I always see this brand there. It's ProFusion. They also sell it at Target right now. They replace Essence with this brand, which I was mad about even though this brand is a good brand. Then I just take my kabuki brush and then I will take that peaches shade. I will set some parts of my face with this, so I'll set usually my cheeks just so my powder like applies. So I'll usually set there, and then I will set on my nose and my forehead, and sometimes there but not always. And yeah, I don't typically contour on an everyday basis, so I'm not going to do that now if I don't do it on an everyday basis. And then I always make sure my lids are set because I typically like to not use primer. Like I don't like using primer on an everyday basis just because too much work, seriously. Okay, so for my look, I typically use the Carli Bybel palette, but not just because it's my palette, but just because, I don't know, I just feel like I like to use it, and I don't know, it is my palette, so I am using it because of that reason. But I also, I don't know, I'm just trying to use it more, I guess. So yeah, this is what my palette's looking like. I'm gonna do an update probably after this video. So first, I like to typically just take a just regular shade and set my lid. So I'm gonna take the XOXO Remix palette and do that. So I'm gonna take Clarity on my brush and I'm going to set my lid. I know I already set it with powder, but I like to also put down some sort of a base. So I'm just gonna take a couple taps and then just blend it kind of on the inner corner, but also on the lid. And I like this palette. Sometimes I'll like mix these two palettes and use it, but today I'm gonna do something a little bit different, I guess. I don't know. So in this palette, I'm gonna be taking the mauve shade right there, and I'm gonna take like 2 taps of that, and then 2 more taps of it. And I'm just make sure to tap it off really well. And then I typically use the mirror that comes with the palette, and then I'm just gonna apply this to my crease and maybe a little bit to the outer corner and everything. I don't love this shade, love mauves. Like I like purple and everything, but I liked this better as a mixing color, but we don't have that brown in the palette anymore. And then I will typically like to go into another palette for a brown, and this time I'm using more of a blending brush. This one was the Morphe M433, and then this brush we're going to be using is the Morphe M441. So again, I think for this one I'm going to take the terracotta shade and then also taking that like warm, and I'm going to mix these for like that warm brown and then apply that to the crease just to blend that other shade. And then sometimes I'll go in with shimmers in there, but today I'm going to take the shimmers in here just because I'm trying my hardest to like use them up, so I like to use them. So typically what I'll do is I'll mix these 3 shimmers and everything and put them straight on my lid. So for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna take them like bland, like literally just mixing them together without setting spray. So I usually like to do 2 dips in each shadow, and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like without any like setting spray and everything. So that's what it looks like without setting spray. It's alright and everything. I like to add like a little bit more like, I guess, pizzazz to it, so that's what we're gonna do. So just taking a little bit of my Milani Make It Last setting spray, and then I'm gonna dip into those shades one by one. And then I'm mostly gonna be focusing on the inner, like I guess, half of my lid. and then going out. But yeah, this just adds a little bit more of a liquid look, and it just makes it like look better, I guess. And I don't always do this, but I feel like this just makes my eyes look very awake and everything, and it just looks very nice, which I like. So, and then a lot of times I will go back in with this brush and just use whatever's left to blend it. Just really trying to make sure we're all blended. And I don't always like using like other colors like on the outer corner and everything. Sometimes I like to just keep it simple, but I think I'm just gonna take the dark purple and just apply that to the outer corner for now. See how I like that? I don't typically always do something like this, but it is something that adds like a touch to the look. And then on the inner corners, I like to take like highlight shade. Sometimes I'll use something different, but I think that's what I'm gonna do today. And I'm just going to highlight that inner corner with that, and that's really gonna add a wham bam glow to this look, which I really like. And then I'm also gonna apply it to the brow bone. And mixing palettes is honestly my favorite thing to do for every day. It's not always like what I like to do for my makeup looks, but it is something that I like to like kind of do. It's fun to just play around and mix up palettes. This is typically what my eyeshadow looks like, kind of what the look I go for, just something very simple. Okay, then I usually like to go into blush, and this is the blush I'm trying to use up this year, and this is the Concept blush from Tarte and everything, so I typically like to go in with this next. And my blush brush is just the e.l.f. stipple brush, so I usually just go in 2 to 3 times, and then I'll blend it, then do the same thing on the other side. Just get a nice natural flush of color on there, which is always nice. And then for highlight, I like to do a couple different things. So first I'll take my Super Shock cheek, which is also in my project pan for 2018. I need to film an update for that, so I'm probably doing a lot of panning videos today. So I'm just gonna take this and apply this onto my cheeks, or like onto my cheekbone. And I like to take my finger and kind of just swirl it in there first, and then I like to go like that and kind of, you know, like wipe it around with my finger. I don't know what to call it, just tapping it around. And then if it gets too crazy, I will always blend it with this brush, just always making sure things are blended and stuff. I do a little bit of my nose and everything. This kind of like goes down to a powder. It's not really a full cream. And then I will go on my chin, sometimes a little bit on my cupid's bow, but sometimes I like to use that or like leave that alone just because sometimes it can be too much. And then I'm gonna do my brows real quick. My brows, pretty much all I do is use my Essence Make Me Brow. So I literally just brush up my eyebrows and then I will brush them out. I like my Gimme Brow too, but I think I want to stick with this one just because it's like a fraction of the price. It's more than half off the Gimme Brow and everything, and I just like the wand on this. I do think this is more wet than the Gimme Brow, so like I honestly like to let it like dry out a tiny bit, but it is a very nice brow gel, especially for that everyday brow when you don't really feel like doing much for your eyebrows. And then I'm gonna go straight into mascara. I know I didn't really talk about it, but I'm just gonna use my Tarte Gifted mascara, and I love this mascara. This mascara is literally so good. Like literally makes your lashes so long, gives them that volume. And doing my makeup is honestly something that really eases my mind and kind of like calms down my anxiety, because sometimes I can get anxious, especially when I'm under a lot of stress. Doing my makeup in the morning is always a good thing. Then over my highlight, I typically like to use like another highlight and everything, so I'm going to show you the options of what I usually pick from, and then I'll pick which one I want to do today. So a lot of times I do use the Pixi and Aspen Ovard highlight, and this one is in Santorini Sunset, if I can ever get it open. That's so pretty. Or I will use my e.l.f. Cosmetics and Heart highlight, which I really like and everything. It just looks like this. This is the coffee and cream highlight, and it's so pretty. Or I will just pick a highlight out of this palette and everything. I typically can only use these 2 shades mixed and everything, so I think today I'm gonna mix these 2 shades just to get a nice little highlight, you know? Mostly using that shade though. And I'll just go down my nose, the center of my forehead, and then also over my brows, like on the top of them, go a little bit lower bone to set that other highlight and everything, and it also just looks nice and everything, so I like to do that and everything. Just give a nice glow. Then I will of course exfoliate my lips just because they get very dry, and this one is from e.l.f. Cosmetics. This is like their lip exfoliator. It's in the brown sugar. They have several different flavors, I guess you could call it, and this just really exfoliates them and gets them ready. Okay, so I'm gonna explain what I just did because it literally probably doesn't make any sense because it was just like okay, so typically what I like to do is like just apply lip balm and everything. Sometimes I wear lipsticks, but not very often just because my lips get very cracked very easily, so that's just not really in it for me right now. I just can't do that and everything, so I just use the posiebalm by Benefit and everything. I'm trying to use this up. This is also one of the products that's in my use up 18 in 2018 video, so I like to use that. But yeah, this is the makeup look. It's very simple and very nice for every day and everything. I feel like, I don't know, I just really like it because it looks like I'm wearing makeup and it looks like I'm put together, but it's not too much. It's not like too glam. I think it's like the perfect look for every day and everything, and I love a good old glowy, just nice fresh looking look, and I feel like that's what this is. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below any makeup looks you want to see next, any videos you want to see next, just anything you want to see on my channel, let me know down below. And yeah, please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already because I post videos every single week, definitely every single Friday. Sometimes I post Monday or Wednesday or both, you know, bonus days. Sometimes I post on bonus days and all that kind of fun stuff. And yeah, I have a lot of fun videos coming up and I'm super excited for all of them. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye.